Hi everyone, welcome to today's GCSE Foundation Revision video. Today we're going to go through the answers to the practice paper. So yesterday I gave you the practice paper and today we're going to go through the answers to it. Now in terms of these answers, what I'd recommend is that you see if you got each question right, and most importantly, identify what topics you're good at, so the ones that you can get right and you're confident with, but most importantly, what topics and questions that you got wrong, so what questions you got wrong, and identifying what topics they are, so then you can do something about it with the next 2 weeks to go. So perhaps go to your teacher and say, can you go through Pythagoras' theorem if you got that question wrong? Or can you go through some more ratio questions for me? Or remember, you've also got the video tutorials on Corbettmaths, so watch the Pythagoras tutorial or watch the ratio tutorials, and that'll really help you then boost your confidence with those topics. So in this video, we're going to go through the answers, so let's get started.
Okay, so let's have a look at our first question, question number 1. It's on factors and we cover that with 97 days to go. So part A says write down a factor of 21. Well, 3 times 7 is equal to 21, so I can see straight away that 7 is a factor of 21 because 21 is divisible by 7. So the answer would be 7 there. And let's just check if there's any other numbers. 4, no. 9, no. 10, no. 11, no. 15, no. And 31 would be too big, so the answer would be 7. Okay, part B, a factor of 62. Well, 2 times 31 is 62. So that means that 31 must be a factor of 32. Because 2 times 31 is equal to 62. So that means that 31 is a factor of 62. And let's just check any of our numbers. So 4, no, because that would be 60 and 64. 7, no, that would be 56 and 63. 9, no, that would be 63 as well. 10, obviously cleaning on the 10 times tables. 11, no, 62 is not divisible by 11. 15, no, that would be 15, 30, 45, 60. So no, and 31, yes, that's what we've written down. Okay, the last one, part C, says write down a factor of 45. Now, if we consider the factors of 45, we could have 1 times 45, neither of those in the list. We could have 3 times 15. Well, 15's in the list, that means 15 could be a factor. We could also have 5 times 9, and actually 9's in the list as well, so this time we could have 15 or 9. So there's 2 possible answers you could have there, 15 or 9. So question number 2 is on cube numbers, and it says Don says the difference between 2 consecutive cube numbers is always odd. So let's find our consecutive cube numbers. So we've got 1 times 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8, because 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3, well 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 64. Actually, I just know the cube numbers, and it's actually handy to know these first 5 off by heart anyway. So the first 5 cube numbers will be 1, 8, 27, 64, and 125. And Don says the difference between the consecutive cube numbers is always odd. So let's see if Don's right. So let's do 8 subtract 1. 8 subtract 1 is equal to 7. So yes, he's right there. Now let's do 27 take away 8. 27 take away 8 is equal to 19. Yes, he's right again. 64 take away 27 would be equal to 37, and so on. And as you can see here, every time we find the difference between these consecutive cube numbers, the answer is always odd. And it would always be odd because if you look at the cube numbers, we've got an odd, an even, an odd, an even, an odd, an even, and so on. So whenever you subtract an odd from an even or an even from an odd, you're going to get an odd answer. So that's why the difference between them is always odd. So is Don correct? Yes, he is correct. Yes. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 3. So question number 3 is on product of primes, and we've been asked to write 60 as a product of its prime factors. So 2 times 30 is equal to 60. We've circled the 2 because it's prime. 30, well 2 times 15 is equal to 30, so let's circle the 2. 15, 3 times 5 is equal to 15, and they're both prime, so let's circle them. So that means 60 is equal to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. So 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5, and that's it. Now if the question says give your answer in index form, where we've got this 2 times 2, we would write 2 squared multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. So if it asks you to write an index form, make sure you do. So for instance, if it was 2 times 2 times 2, you'd write 2 cubed and so on. Okay, so we've done part A. We've written 60 as a product of its prime factors, 2 times 2 times 3 times 5, or 2 squared times 3 times 5. Okay, so let's have a look at part B. So part B says find the lowest common multiple of 60 and 75. Well, we've written 60 as a product of primes. It's 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Now let's write 75 as a product of primes. So 75 would be equal to, so in terms of 75, it's divisible by 5. So that would be 5 times 15. 5 times 15, 75. 5's prime, so let's circle that. 15's not, so that would be 3 times 5. And let's circle those. So it means that 75 is equal to 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. So we've got 60 as a product of primes, and we've got 75 as a product of primes. Now let's find the lowest common multiple. So I'm going to do a circle here for 60. I'm going to do another circle for 75. And then let's put the prime numbers in the diagram. So 60 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And 75 is equal to 3 times 5 times 5. So in terms of 60, it's got a 3 and 75's got a 3, so we can put a 3 in the middle. Okay, now in terms of 5, 60's got a 5 and 75's got 2 5s. That means we can put a 5 in the middle, and then we can put an extra 5 on the 75 side, because if you have a look here, 60's got a 5 and 75's got 2 5s in their circles. And then in terms of 60, 60's got 2 2s, so we can put 2 2s on this side. So that's it. If we have a look at the circle for 60, we've got 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. And in terms of 75, we've got 3 times 5 times 5. Now this is fantastic because we can now use this to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple. So in terms of the highest common factor, we would multiply the numbers in the middle. So the highest common factor would be 3 times 5, which is 15. So the highest common factor of these two numbers is 15. In terms of the lowest common multiple, we're going to times all these numbers together. So we're going to do 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. So 2 times 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Okay, so let's work this out. So 5 times 5 is 25. Times 2 is equal to 50, times 2 is equal to 100, and times 3 is equal to 300. So that's equal to 300. So the lowest common multiple of 60 and 75 would be 300. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 4. So question number 4 says, Penny gets £8 pocket money. So Penny receives £8 pocket money, and she's given an increase of £3. And we've been asked to write £3 as a fraction of £8. Well, that's just going to be 3 out of 8. 3/8, because it's 3 out of 8. 3 is a fraction of £8. 3/8. And if you got that, well done. Okay, part B says, write your answer as a percentage. Now this is great. This is a calculator question. So I can do 3 divided by 8 on my calculator. Divide the numerator by the denominator. And 3 divided by 8 is equal to 0.375. And then to change this to a percentage, we can just multiply by 100. So that'll be 37.5%. So 37.5%. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 5. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 5. And question number 5 is a recipes question, and it's about bolognese sauce. And we're told that Joe's only got 400 grams of minced beef, and the recipe has 500 grams. So in the hints, I said to do this, what we do is we divide all these values by 5 to find out for 100 grams of minced beef, how much of the other ingredients we'd need. And it's a calculator question, so that's quite nice. So if we do 750 divided by 5, that's equal to 150 grams. We can do 40 divided by 5, that's equal to 8 grams, and we can take 150 milliliters and divide that by 5, that'll be 30 milliliters. So we now know if she had 100 grams of minced beef, how much of the other ingredients you would need. Now we want to find out how much of the other ingredients you would need if she's got 400 grams of minced beef. So we're now going to multiply all of these by 4. So this is already to do a proportion, so making sure that you divide them all by 5 and then times them all by 4. Now if we times them all by 4, 150 grams times 4 would be 600 grams. 8 grams times 4 would be 32 grams, and 30 milliliters of chicken stock times 4 would be 120 milliliters of chicken stock, and that's it. So she needs 600 grams of chopped tomatoes, 32 grams of mushrooms, and 120 milliliters of chicken stock, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, next question. Okay, so question number 6. So question number 6 is coordinates, and we're told that ABCD is a kite. So ABCD is a kite. Now remember, kite's got a line of symmetry. So this would be our line of symmetry. So that means that if A is 1, 2 to the left of the line of symmetry, that C, if we go back to the line of symmetry, would be 1, 2 to the right. So C must be there. And the question says, complete the kite and write down the coordinates of C. So C is the point 1, 2. So 1, 2. So 1 across 2 up. And then let's complete the kite. And that's it. That's what the kite ABCD would look like. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, question number 7. So question number 7 says, an airline's got economy and first class seating. There's S seats in economy, so S seats in each row in economy. And there's T seats in each row of first class. And there's 9 rows of first class. There's 24 rows in economy. And we're to write an expression in terms of S and T for the number of seats on the plane. So let's deal with first class to begin with. There's 9 rows, and in each row of first class there are T seats. There's T seats in each row of first class. So 9 times T would be the total number of seats, because there's 9 rows of T. So 9 times T would be how we'd work out how many seats there are. So there's 9 T seats in first class. In terms of economy, there's 24 rows, and there's S seats in each of those rows. So 24 times S would be 24S. And then if we add them together, that'll be the total number of seats. That'll be 9T plus 24S. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 8. Okay, question number 8 is a translations question. And we've been asked to write down the translation vector that would take A to B. So in terms of A, I'm going to focus on one particular corner. I'm going to focus on this corner here. And I'm going to see, how do I move this corner to this point here? So to get from here to here, we would move 1 square to the left. And then we'd move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares up. So that means that shape A has been moved 1 square to the left and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares up. So it's going to be 1 to the left would be -1 on the top of the column vector. And then 5 squares up, so that'll be 5. So the vector, the translation vector that would take A to B would be -1, 5. 1 square to the left and 5 squares up. Okay, next, question number 9. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 9. So question number 9 says, Hannah's recording the number of letters in each word in an article. So she records the length of the number of letters in each word in an article. And the first 10 lengths are 3 letters, 4 letters, 5, 6, 2, 4, 3, 7, 3, and 6. And we've been asked to work out the median. So we need to put these numbers in order. So we're going to go for 2, that's the smallest. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 threes, 1, 2, 3. And then we've got 2 fours, so 4, 4. And then a 5, so a 5, and then a 6, and a 6, and a 7. A 6, a 6, and a 7. I've been asked to work out the median. Let's just check we've got our 10 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to cross off the smallest and the biggest, the smallest and the biggest, the next smallest and the next biggest, the next smallest and the next biggest. Now we're left with 2 4s in the middle, so the median will be 4. So the median is 4. In the middle of those two numbers is 4. Okay, part B, we've been asked to calculate the mean, so we need to add up these numbers. So we're going to do 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus 6. And let's see what we get. So I'm going to type that in my calculator. And that's equal to 43. So we've added up the numbers. So that's 43. So there's 43 letters in those first 10 words. So we've got the grand total. We now just need to divide that by the number of numbers, which is 10. So 43 divided by 10 is 4.3. So the mean is 4.3. So we found the median and we've worked out the mean. And then our next part. Our next part says that an 11th word with 4 letters has been added. So if we go back, there's now an 11th word, and that 11th word has got 4 letters. So we've got 11 words, and the 11th one has got 4 letters. And then the question asks us how that affects the mean and how that affects the median. So let's do part C first of all. Let's see how that affects the mean. So the mean at the minute is 4.3. So we're now going to add up those numbers and divide by 11. So whenever we add up these numbers and add them all up, let's see what we get. Adding up the first 10, we know that's 43. And then adding on 4, that'd be 47. Now we need to do 47 divided by 11. So 47 divided by 11. And 47 divided by 11 is equal to 4.2727 and so on. And as you can see, 4.27 and so on is going to be smaller than 4.3. So the mean will go down, the mean will decrease. So let's explain that the mean will decrease. And that makes sense. If the mean was 4.3, and then if you've got 11th word with 4 letters, that's going to bring the mean down. Okay, next, part D. Part D says how will it affect the median? Okay, so we now need to work out the median. Now we've got our numbers, which are 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 4, 3, 7, 3, 6, and now our 4. Now we want to put them in order, so our smallest will be 2. And then we've got 1, so we've done 2. We've then got 1, 2, 3 threes, 1, 2, 3 threes. We've now got 1, 2, 3 fours, so we've got an extra 4, so 1, 2, 3 fours. And then we've still got a 5, we've then got 2 6s and a 7, so 2 6s and a 7. And let's work out the median now. So we'll cross off the smallest and the biggest, the next smallest and the next 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 biggest, and it's 4. So the median has stayed the same. So the median remains the same. Okay, and if you got those, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 10. So question number 10, we've got some rounding questions. So we've been asked to round 5,725 to the nearest 100. So to the nearest 100, it'll either be 5,700 or 5,800. Now, because it's 5,725, it's closer to 5,700. It'll be here somewhere in the number line. So the answer will be 5,700. So this is closer to 5,700 than it is to 5,800. Another way to consider it is if you consider the tens, you got a 2 in the tens column. So you're not going to round up, you're going to round down. So the answer is 5,700. Okay, next we've been asked to round 83.07718 to 2 decimal places. So to 2 decimal places, that's 2 decimal places. So let's look at the digit in the third decimal place. It's a 7, so we're going to round up. So the answer would be 83.08. And if we consider the number line, this number is closer to 83.08 than it is to 83.07. Okay, let's look at our next question. We've been asked to round 6.35 to 1 decimal place. So our choice is either 6.3 or 6.4. Now this is actually exactly in the middle. And remember, whenever it's exactly in the middle, we round up. So the answer would be 6.4. And then finally, we've been asked to round 129.34952 to 1 decimal place. So again, we can consider the second decimal place, which is a 4. So we're not going to round up. So it's going to be 129.3. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, question number 11. So question number 11 is an order of operations question, and I've written down this in the hints. So we've got our brackets, our orders, our divisions and multiplications, and then our additions and subtractions. So we're going to start off with any brackets. Yes, 2 plus 5 is 7, so we've got 7 squared, and 7 squared is 49. So the answer is 49. Okay, in part B, do we have any brackets? No. Any orders, say like squares and square roots? No. Any divisions and multiplications? Yes. 3 times 6 is equal to 18. We've still got our 5 plus in front of it, so 5 plus 18 now is equal to 23. So we have to do this multiplication before we add. So we're going to do 3 times 6 is equal to 18, and then do 5 plus 18, which is 23. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 12. So question number 12 is adding fractions. So we want the same denominator. So if we have a look here, denominators are 4 and 9. So a common denominator, I'm going to go for 36. So 36 and 36. To get from 4 to 36, we multiply by 9. So we need to multiply this numerator by 9. 3 times 9 is 27. To get from 9 to 36, we times by 4. 2 times 4 is equal to 8. Okay, so let's add these together. So we've got 27 36 plus 8 36. Well, that's going to be, let's add together 27 and 8. 27 plus 8 is 35. So that means that our answer is 35 36. And if you got that, well done. So question number 13 is to multiply mixed numbers. So we want to make them top-heavy fractions to begin with. If we've got 1 and a third, well, in a whole, there's 3 thirds, and another third, that would be 4 thirds. So 4 thirds multiplied by 2 and 2 fifths. Well, in 2, if we're dealing with fifths, in 2, there's going to be 10 fifths, and another 2 fifths would be 12 fifths. So 12 fifths. And now, in terms of a shortcut, you can do 1 times 3 is equal to 3, plus 1 is equal to 4, so that's 4 thirds. And then 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so 12 fifths. Now we just need to multiply, so let's multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. 4 times 12 is equal to 48, and then 3 times 5 is equal to 15. Now that's the top of every fraction. We want to give our answer as a mixed number. So how many 15s go into 48? So it's going to be 3, because 3 15s is 45, so it's 3. And then remainder will be 3, so 3 15. So that's just saying how many 15s go into 48? 3, remainder 3, so 3 and 3 15ths. The 3 15ths can be cancelled down. They're both divisible by 3, so that will give us 3 and 1/5. So the answer is 3 and a fifth. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 14. So question number 14 is a percentages of amounts question, and we covered that with 50 days to go. And we're told at Frome International Train Station, that's quite funny if you know what Frome Train Station looks like. So Frome Train Station, there's 440 trains, and 35% of them were late. And we've been asked to work out how many trains were on time. So let's first of all work out how many trains were late. Now you could do this in 2 different ways. You could work out 65%, because if 35% of the trains were late, the rest of them, which would be 65%, will be on time. And then you can work out 65% of this number. Alternatively, we can work out how many trains were late, and that's what I'm going to do to begin with. I'm going to take our 440. This is a calculator question, so I'm going to divide it by 100 to find 1%, and that's equal to 4.4. And then I'm going to times by 35, so 4.4, and I'm going to multiply that by 35. So let's see what we get. So 4.4 multiplied by 35 is 154. So that's equal to 154 late trains. Now the question asks us how many trains were on time. So we're now going to do our 440, how many trains there were altogether, and take away 154. And that's equal to 286. So there's 286 trains that were on time. Alternatively, we could have taken our 1%, which is 4.4, and just multiplied it by 65%, and that would give us our 286 straight away. Okay, question number 15. So question number 15 is a ratios question, and we're told at a rugby match, the ratio of children to adults is 2 to 3, and there's 80 children in the crowd. Each adult ticket costs £8. A child ticket costs a quarter of the adult ticket price, and work out how much money is made from ticket sales. Okay, so in terms of this question, each adult ticket costs £8 and a child ticket costs a quarter of that. So a quarter of 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2. So that means that each child ticket costs £2. So we've got the price of an adult ticket and a child ticket. Now let's work out how many adults and children were in the crowd. There's 80 children. We're going to divide that by the children number in the ratio, which is 2. So 80 divided by 2 is equal to 40. Now we're going to times that by the adult number in the ratio, which is 3. So 40 times 3 is equal to 120. So there's 120 adults and there's 80 children. So 80 children. Now we need to work out how much money is made from ticket sales. So we're going to take the 120 adults and we're going to times that by 8, because each adult ticket was £8. So 120 multiplied by 8 is equal to £960. In terms of the children tickets, there's 80 children and they each pay £2, and 80 times 2 is equal to 160. And if we do 960 plus 160, 960 plus 160, that's equal to 1,120. So that's how much money is made from ticket sales. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 16. So question number 16 is on substitution. So we've got V equals U plus AT. And we've been asked to work out V whenever U is equal to 23, A is equal to 4, and T is equal to 3. So in terms of this, well, we've got the V is equal to U, which is 23, plus A times T. A is 4 and T is 3, so 4 times 3. And I was going to put that in brackets. And now let's just work this out. We're going to do a multiplication first. Remember our order of operations, we have to multiply. We actually didn't need the brackets there. I could just do 4 times 3 is 12. Or we can put it in brackets and do 12. So then we've got 23 plus 12, and 23 plus 12 is equal to 35. So V is equal to 35, so 35. And just to go through that again, U is equal to 23, A is equal to 4, and T is equal to 3. We have to do 4 times 3 is equal to 12, and 23 plus 12 is equal to 35. Okay, next, we've been told that V is equal to 30, so we've got 30 is equal to U, which is what we're trying to find, U, plus, and then we've got AT, and A is equal to 2, and T is equal to 8. 2 times 8 is equal to 16, so AT would be 16. And then if we just take away 16, and take away 16, we get that 14 is equal to U, so U is equal to 14, so U is 14. And if you got that, well done. And just to recap that, what we knew was we knew the answer was equal to 30. We know that AT is equal to 16, so we've got 30 equals U plus 16. We then just solve that equation, taking away 16 from both sides, and we've got U is equal to 14. Okay, question number 17. So question number 17, it says Tony's got a fair 6-sided spinner, and the spinner's got the numbers 7, 8, and 9 on it. The probability that the spinner will land on 7 is greater than the probability that it'll land on 8, so there's more 7s than 8s, and the probability that it lands on 9 is a third. So that means that a third of the numbers are 9. So the 6 sides is 6 sections, so what we're going to do is we're going to do 6 divided by 3 to work out a third of that. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So because the probability for 9 is a third, that means that 2 of the sections will have a 9 on it. 9 and a 9. And just thinking about that, that's if in terms of probability for 9, that's 2 out of 6, which if you cancel it down is 1/3. Now if we go back up here, the probability that the spinner lands on a 7 is greater than the probability that it lands on an 8, so there's more 7s than 8s. Now there's 4 sections, we can't have 2 7s and 2 8s because then that would be the same. That means we must have 3 7s and 1 8, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at question number 18. So question number 18 is a scatter graph question. We've got to plot this information on the scatter graph. Okay, so 1 and 60 would be there, and 2 and 80 would be there. The next point is 3 and 104. So we've got 3, which is here, 3 and 104. Well, let's see what we're going to up in. So we've got 20 in 5 little squares. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So that means it'd be 100. 104 would be there. So 104. Next, 116, 3 and 116, so there's 3 and then 104, 8, 12, 16 would be there. Our next one is 5 and 128, so 5 and 128, so 100, 124, 128 would be there. Next is 6 and 140, so 6 and 140 would be there. And finally, 6 and 160, so 6 and 160 would be there. So we've plotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Let's just check. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of information in the table. So that's it, we've plotted the points. And part B says, describe the correlation. So as you can see, as the job duration increases, the charge increases. So let's explain that. And I've just written down it's a positive correlation because as the duration of the job increases, so does the cost. Okay, let's look at our next part. Okay, part C says draw a line of best fit. So let's go back to our scatter graph and draw a line of best fit. So get your ruler and pencil and draw a line of best fit. Now, obviously, with these lines of best fit, they can vary slightly. So you just try and draw the best line of best fit that you can. So there's my line of best fit. Okay, our next part. Our next part says use the line of best fit to estimate the charge of a job lasting 4 hours. So let's go to our graph and we're going to go to 4 hours, which is here, and we're going to go up to the line of best fit and across. So let's do that. And with my line of best fit, I find that to be £120. So my answer is 120, and obviously yours may vary depending on your line of best fit. So £120. And then the last part, part E, says explain why it may not be appropriate to use the line of best fit for a charge of a job lasting 12 hours. So if we have a look here, these are charges by a plumber for different jobs. Now in terms of our data, we've only been told information that goes up to 6 hours. In terms of this plumber, it might be that he can't do a job that lasts 12 hours long. It might be that he has to do over 2 days rather than 1 day. So 12 hours goes beyond the data that we've been provided. So let's explain that. And I've just explained it's beyond the range of the given data, so therefore it's not appropriate to use a line of best fit for a job lasting 12 hours. Okay, let's look at question number 19. So question number 19 is a frequencies tree question. So we've got 60 people took part in a talent contest. 43 were women and the rest were men. So 43 were women, so 43 women. The rest are men, so we're going to do 62, take away 43, and that's equal to 19. So that means there was 19 men and 43 women. Then we're told that 10 people made it through to the final and the rest were eliminated, and 3 men made it through to the final. So in terms of the final, 3 men made it through. Now 3 men made it through, that means if there was 19 men, 16 were eliminated, and 10 people made it through to the final. So if that means that 3 plus this number must be 10, so that must be 7 there. And then we're just going to do 43 take away 7 to find out how many women were eliminated, and that's equal to 36. So that's equal to 36. And we can check our answer. If we do 16 plus 3, that's equal to 19. And then if we do 19 plus 36, that's equal to 55, and plus 7 is equal to 62. And if we look, we've got 10 people made it through to the final, we've got 19 men, and we've got 43 women, and that's it. Okay, and then let's look at our next part, part B. Part B says, what fraction of the men made it through to the final? Well, there's 19 men and 3 made it through to the final, so that would be 3/19. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 20. So question number 20 is on angles and polygons. So here we've got a regular pentagon, and we've been asked to find the size of each interior angle. Now in terms of this, you may know that the angles in a pentagon add together to be 540 degrees, but if you don't, if you've forgotten that, take the number of sides, which is 5, take away 2, and then multiply by 180. And then if you do 3, because 5 take away 2 is 3, times 180 is equal to 540 degrees. But with a pentagon, I typically would remember that the angles in a pentagon add to be 540 degrees. Now it's regular, that means that all of the angles are the same size. So if I divide by 5, 540 divided by 5 is equal to 108 degrees. So that means that x, this angle, is 108 degrees. Okay, and then part B. Part B, it says that 3 identical pentagons are joined together. So as you can see, they meet at a point here. So this is 108 degrees, this is 108 degrees, and this is 108 degrees. So they're all 108 degrees. And we've been asked to find the size of y. Now they all meet at a point. So that means if we add together 3 108s, so 3 times 108 is equal to 324. And then if we take it away from 360, so if we do 360 subtract 324, that's equal to 36. So that means that this angle is 36 degrees. So let's write that down, 36 degrees. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 21. So question number 21, we've been asked to find the speed of a car. So speed is equal to distance divided by time. The distance is 240 kilometers, and the time, it's 3 hours and 45 minutes, and that's 3/4 of an hour. So it's 3 3/4 of an hour, so that'd be 3.75. And then if we just do this on our calculator and do 240 divided by 3.75, that's equal to 64. So 64 kilometers an hour. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 22. Question number 22 is the estimated mean. So to find the estimated mean, we're going to find the midpoints of each category. So that's going to be 30, that's going to be 50, and that's going to be 70. Then we're going to add on the fx column. So we're going to times the midpoints by the frequencies to get the fx column, add that all up to get our estimate for the grand total, and then divide it by 10, because we're told there's 10 students altogether. So let's find the fx column. So there's 3 values between 20 and 40 seconds. We'll pretend they're 30 seconds each. 3 times 30 is equal to 90. Then we've got 5 times 50, that's equal to 250. And 2 times 70 is equal to 140. And then if we add them all up, that'll give us a total for the fx column. So 90 plus 250 plus 140 is equal to 480. And then if we just do 480 divided by 10, that's equal to 48. And that's equal to 48. So the mean time taken would be 48 seconds. And if you got that, well done. Okay, so question number 23, we've been asked to draw the graph of y equals 4x minus 5. Now, in terms of the hints video, I explained it'd probably be a good idea to do an xy table. So to find the values for y in our xy table, I've gone from -2 to 2 because that's what it says here. And in terms of finding the y values, we're going to multiply all these values by 4 and then take away 5. So let's start off with 2. 4 times 2 is 8, take away 5 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4, take away 5 is -1. 4 times 0 is 0, take away 5 is -5. 4 times -1 will be -4, take away 5 will be -9, and finally 4 times -2 is -8, take away 5 will be -13. So we found the values in our xy table, now we just need to plot them. Okay, so we've drawn a set of axes, so we've got our x-axis and we've got our y-axis. In terms of our x-axis, I'm going to cross every 2 squares as 1, so if we go across 2, that's 1, if we go across another 2, that's 2, and so on. And then in terms of our vertical axis, our y-axis, if we start at 0, we're going up in 2, so 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, and down in 2s. Okay, so our first point is 2 across 3 up, so 2 across 3 up would be here. Next, 1 across 1 down, so 1 across 1 down would be there, in the middle of that 1 there, so there. 0 minus 5, so 0 minus 5 would be there. Next, we've got -1 minus 9, so -1 minus 9 will be here. And then -2 minus 13, so -2 minus 13 would be there. So we've plotted our points, now we just need to get a ruler and draw a nice straight line through them. And that's it, we've drawn the line of y equals 4x minus 5. And let's just check that. It crosses the y-axis at -5, fantastic. And as we go across 1 unit to here, we go up 4 to -1. We go across 1 unit, we got 4 to 3 and so on. So that's the line y equals 4x minus 5. And if you got that, well done. Okay, next question. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 24. So question number 24, we've got this fish tank and it's sprung a leak and it loses 20% of its water. So that means that 80% is left, and there's now 240 litres of water in the fish tank. And we've been asked how much water was in the fish tank before the leak. So this is reverse percentages and it's 44 days to go. We covered that. Now in terms of this question, we know that 80%, how much water is left in the fish tank, is equal to 240 litres. So we want to find out how much water was in the fish tank to begin with. So let's find what 1% is. So to find what 1% is, we'll divide by 80. So that would be 80 divided by 80 is 1. So 1% would be equal to, and it's a calculator question, so you could do 240 divided by 80, or you could just know it's 3, and then that's 3 litres. So just dividing both of those by 80. Now we know what 1% is, we can find 100%. So that we'll multiply by 100, and we'll multiply by 100. And then 1 times 100 is 100%. So in other words, how much water was in the fish tank to begin with, and 3 times 100 would be 300. So that means there's 300 litres of water in the fish tank to begin with, or before the leak. So the answer is 300. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 25. So question number 25 is on percentage decrease. And remember, there's the formula change divided by original times 100. And we talked about that in the hints video. So let's work out the change. The change is what it's gone down by. So if we do 80 subtract 64, that's equal to 16. Divided by the original, which is 80, and then we're going to multiply by 100. And if it's a calculator question, if we type this into our calculator, 16 divided by 80 multiplied by 100, that's equal to 20%. So the answer is 20%. And if you got that, well done. Okay, our next question, question number 26. So question number 26, I'm going to get rid of some of these hints actually. So question number 26. So question number 26 is on negative indices. And remember, to work out a negative indice, you just do 1 over the positive power. So instead of doing 4 to the power of negative 2, we're going to do 1 over 4 squared. Just getting rid of the negative power and putting 1 over. And 4 squared is 16, so the answer will be 1 over 16. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 27, let's expand in 2 brackets. So we just need to do w times w is w squared. W times 7 would be plus 7w. Minus 6 times w would be minus 6w. And minus 6 times 7 would be minus 42. And now if we have a look here, we've got w squared. We've got 7w take away 6w, that's going to be 1w or plus w. And then we've got our minus 42. So the answer would be w squared plus w minus 42. Okay, next, question number 28. Question number 28 is solving equations. So we want to get all the y's to one side and the numbers on the other. So we want to get rid of the lowest number of y's. And here we've got minus 2y's. So let's get rid of this minus 2y's. So to get rid of minus 2y's, we'll add 2y's to both sides. So on the left-hand side, we had 4y's. We're adding 2y's. That's 6y's. And then we've still got our plus 1. And the right-hand side, we've got 29. And then we did have minus 2y's. We're adding 2y's. That gives us 0. So we'll just be left with our 29. Now we're going to take away 1 and take away 1. So that gives us 6y equals 28. And then if we divide by 6 and divide by 6, that'll give us our answer. And then we divide by 6 and divide by 6, we get y equals. And then we've got 28 divided by 6, or 28 sixths. So we've got y equals 28 sixths. Now this isn't a calculator question. If this was a calculator question, I would have worked that out, 28 divided by 6. So let's cancel this down. So that'll be y equals, dividing both of these by 2 would be 14 thirds. And the question doesn't say we need to give it as a mixed number or anything like that. So we could just write it as 14 thirds, y equals 14 thirds. Or you could change it into a mixed number, and to change it into a mixed number, you'd say how many 3's go into 14? That'll be 4, remainder 2, and that would be 4 and 2 thirds. So y is equal to 14 thirds, and you could give it as a top-heavy fraction if you're not told otherwise, or you could give it as 4 and 2 thirds, or even 4.66666, and so on, and that's it. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 29. So question number 29 is on the nth term. So we've got the sequence and we need to find its nth term. So the sequence is getting bigger by 10 each time. So let's write down our 10 times tables, or our multiples of 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And we'll write 10n in front of that. And then to get from 10 to 12, we add 2. To get from 20 to 22, we add 2. To get from 30 to 32, we add 2. So that's going to be 10n plus 2. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 30. And we've been asked to factorise fully 9m squared subtract 12mp. So if we have a look at this, we can divide both of the numbers by 3. So let's take a 3 out. And we can also take an m out as well. And then we'll be left with 9m squared divided by 3m would be 3m. And then we've got to take away our minus. And then 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then we'll be left, if we take out the m, we'll be left with p. So the answer is 3m bracket 3m subtract 4p. And if you got that, well done. Okay, next question, question number 31. Okay, question number 31. We've been asked to factorise x squared plus 4x minus 12. So it's a quadratic, so we're going to factorise it with our bracket, 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 bracket. Because x squared, we're going to put x's in the front of both brackets, and we want two numbers that will multiply together to give us minus 12, and they will add together to be 4. So in terms of two numbers that will times together to be minus 12, now one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative, and they're going to add together to be 4. So I'm thinking plus 6 and minus 2, because 6 times minus 2 is equal to minus 12, and minus 2 plus 6 is equal to 4. So the answer is x plus 6 brackets x minus 2, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 32. We've been asked to solve this inequality. So we want to get the x on the left-hand side on its own. So let's take away 6 and take away 6. So on the left-hand side, we'll be left with 4x, and that's bigger than or equal to, and 8 subtract 6 is 2. Now we just need to divide by 4 and divide by 4. And on the left-hand side, we'll be left with x. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have, well, 2 divided by 4 is 0.5, or you could have written a half there. So x is bigger than or equal to 0.5. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 33. So question number 33, we've been given a line and we've been asked to work out its equation. And in the hints video yesterday, I talked about y equals mx plus c, the equation of a straight line, where m's the gradient and c is the y-intercept. Now in terms of the c here, we can see that's going to be 4, so it's going to be y equals something plus 4. Now in terms of the m, the gradient, let's find the gradient of the line. So let's choose 2 points on the line. So I'm going to choose this point here, 0, 4, and I'm going to choose this point up here. So let's make our little triangle and our little right angle triangle. So in terms of the run, we're going from 0 to 2, so the run is 2. And in terms of the rise, we're going from a height of 4 up to a height of 12, so the rise is 8. So in terms of this line, the gradient m is equal to the rise divided by the run. The rise is 8, the run is 2, and 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. So the gradient of this line is 4. So that means this equation will be y equals 4x plus, and then where it crosses the y-axis is 4, so plus 4. So the equation of that line is y equals 4x plus 4. And if you got that, well done. Okay, question number 33. Okay, let's have a look at question number 33. So we've been told that Sebastian leaves £3,000 in the bank for 2 years and it earns compound interest at 2% per year. And we've been asked to calculate how much money Sebastian has in the bank account at the end of the 2 years. So remember, we've got initial multiplied by the multiplier to the power of time. So that's really useful for working out compound interest questions. Now we could do it manually and get this amount, increase it by 2%, get that answer, increase it by 2% and so on, or we could just use this. Okay, so in terms of the initial, that's £3,000. Multiplied by the multiplier. Now it receives compound interest of 2% per year. So in other words, it goes up by 2% each year. So that means you would then have 102%. And as a decimal number, it's 1.02. So that's our multiplier. And then to the power of time, well, it's invested for 2 years, so squared. So we just need to work this out. So 3,000 multiplied by 1.02 squared is equal to £3,121.20. And the question says calculate the total amount of money Sebastian has in the bank at the end of the 2 years. It'll be £3,121.20. And that's it. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 35. So question number 35 is in standard form, and we talked about this in the hints yesterday, that we need a number that's greater than or equal to 1 but less than 10, multiplied by 10 to a certain power. So in terms of 5,600, well, that'll be 5.6, that's the number between 1 and 10, bigger than or equal to 1 but less than 10, multiplied by 10 to the power of. So if we've got 5.6, we'd need to move the digits 1, 2, 3 columns to the left. So we're going to multiply by 10 cubed. So it'll be 5.6 multiplied by 10 cubed. Okay, this number, well, it's going to be 4.12, and then we're going to multiply the digits by 10, so multiply by 10, so we're going to multiply 4.12 by 10 to the power of, and we move the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns to the left. So we multiply by 10 to the power of 7. So let's just check that. If we had 4.12 and we multiply that by 10 and by 10 again, we would get 412. And then we need to multiply by another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tens. So that'll be 4.12 times 10 to the power of 7. Okay, question number 36. Okay, let's have a look at question number 36, and this is angles and parallel lines, and we've been asked to work out in part A the sides of angle X. So because the lines A, B and C, D are parallel, these two angles are co-interior angles. They will add together to be 180 degrees. So let's do 180 subtract 135 and see what we get. So 0 take away 5, well, let's borrow, that's now 7 and 10. 10 take away 5 is 5, 7 take away 3 is 4, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So the answer would be 45 degrees. And the reason for that is, well, the co-interior angles. So the 135 degrees and X. Okay, next, part B. Part B says find the value of Y. Well, we know this is now 45 degrees, so Y would be equal to it. If you've got two straight lines that cross each other, the opposite angles are always equal. So that means that X is equal to Y, and that's because they're vertically opposite angles. So let's explain that. And that's it. So I've just written down y is vertically opposite to x, so they're equal to each other. And also just to explain our reason for a again, that they're co-interior angles, the 135 degrees in x, so therefore they add to 180 degrees. So then that's 45 as well. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 37. So question number 37 is on constructions, and this is an angle bisector we need to construct. And if you watched the video 78 days to go, I'd construct this angle bisector. In terms of a quick recap, get your compass and your pencil, put the points of the compass on B, and then using your compass and pencil, you're going to do an arc here and an arc here, and making sure that the compass stays the same size. And now get your compass and put the point here, and then an arc towards the middle somewhere, and then keep your compass again the same size now, and put the point here and do an arc towards the middle there somewhere, and then you can join them up, and then that would be the angle bisector. And if you watch the video 76 days to go, I then show you how to do that. Okay, question number 38. Question number 38 is on surface area, and we need to find the surface area of this cuboid. So if you want to find the surface area of this cuboid, we're going to need to find the area of all 6 faces. So let's find the area of the front, so the front. So in terms of the rectangle in the front, it's 11 by 7. So it's 11 is the length from 7 is the width. So if we do 11 multiplied by 7, that's equal to 77 centimeters squared. That's the front. The back would be the same. So the back would also be 77 centimeters squared. In terms of the top, well, it's got a length here of 11 centimeters, and it's got a width of 11. That's 11, so that's 11. So we've got 11 times 11. So the top would be 11 times 11, which is 121 centimeters squared. The bottom would be the same. So we've done the front, the back, the top and the bottom. Okay, now the right hand side, this side here, we can see that's 11 and the height of the rectangle is 7. So if we do 7 times 11, that's 77. So the right hand side, the right, is 7 times 11, which is 77 centimeters squared. And then the left hand side would be the same. So the left would also be 77 centimeters squared. And now to find the total surface area, we just need to add together the front, the back, the top, the bottom, the right and the left. So let's do that. So 77 plus 77 plus 121 plus 121 plus 77 plus 77. And whenever we do that, we get an answer of 550 centimeters squared. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question, question number 39. So in terms of this question, there's a couple of approaches we could use. One approach is to learn that volume is equal to mass divided by density. So if we take the mass, which is 300 grams, and we divide it by the density, which is 6, we'll find the volume. So the volume is equal to 300 divided by 6 is equal to 50. So that means the volume is 50 centimeters cubed. So the answer would be 50. So that's one approach. Another approach is to think about it in terms of, well, if each centimeter cubed has got a mass of 6 grams, and the total mass is 300 grams, if we divide 300 by 6, we can see how many centimeter cubes there are. And 300 divided by 6 is equal to 50. So the volume has to be 50 centimeters cubed. Because each centimeter cube has got a mass of 6 grams, if we had 50 of them, that would be a total mass of 300 grams. Okay, let's have a look at our next question. So question number 40, we've been asked to find the volume of this triangular prism. So we need to find the area of the front and times by how long it is. So let's find the area of the cross section, the area of this triangle. So remember, the area of a triangle is half the base times the height. So we can do a half of 5 and then times that by 4, or we could do 5 times 4 and then half it. Or we could even half the height and times by the base. I'm just going to do a half of 5 times 4. So I'm going to do 5 times 4 and then I'm going to half it. So 5 times 4 is equal to 20. So we're going to do half of 20 and that's equal to 10 centimeters squared. So that's the area of the triangle, so the area of the cross section. Now we just need to multiply by how long the prism is. So we're going to do 10 multiplied by 12 is equal to 120. So the volume is 120 centimeters cubed, and that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 41. So question number 41, we've got a circle and we want to find the circumference of a circle. And yesterday I wrote down the hint that circumference is equal to pi times diameter. You might remember the song, circumference is pi times diameter. Now we want to find the circumference of the circle. That's a non-calculator question, so we're going to do circumference equals pi multiplied by the diameter. Now the radius of the circle is 10, so that means the diameter the whole way across would be 20 centimeters. So we're going to do pi times 20. And when we do pi times 20, it's a non-calculator question, so we're just going to give our answer in terms of pi. So that would be 20 pi, just putting the 20 in front of pi. So the circumference is 20 pi centimeters, and that's it. Okay, our next question, question number 42. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 42. So question number 42 is a trigonometry question. We've been asked to find x, the length of this side, the hypotenuse of the triangle. So let's label the sides. We've got the right angle, so this side is the hypotenuse, opposite it. Opposite the angle would be the opposite, and the other side is the adjacent. Now in terms of this question, we're not trying to find and we're not using the adjacent, so we want to find which trig ratio will be using the opposite and the hypotenuse. So it's going to be skipped over heaven. That the sine of the angle, the sine of beta, is equal to the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, because that's using the opposite and the hypotenuse. So the sine of the angle, now in this case the angle is 40 degrees, so the sine of 40 degrees will be equal to the opposite, which is 8, divided by the hypotenuse, which is x. Now we want to solve this and find out what x is. So we're going to multiply both sides by x, so that would give us, if we multiply both sides by x, the left hand side would become sine 40 multiplied by x. And then the right hand side, we'll multiply by x to get rid of the divide by x, so we'll just be left with 8. So we're now going to divide both sides by the sine of 40. So we're going to divide the left hand side by the sine of 40, and we're going to divide the right hand side by the sine of 40. So in terms of the left hand side, if we divide this by the sine of 40, we'll just be left with x, so we're going to get x. And the right hand side, we've got 8, and we're going to divide that by the sine of 40, so 8 divided by the sine of 40. And then if we just type this into our calculator, we get an answer of 12.4457961. And let's just round that. Let's round it to 3 decimal places. That'll be 12.446 centimeters to 3 decimal places. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 43. So question number 43 is in column vectors, and we want to work out 2a plus b. So let's find 2a. So 2a would be equal to, doubling these, would give us 12 minus 8. So 2a is equal to 12 minus 8, just doubling both of these. Now we want to find out what 2a plus b is. So let's take our 2a and let's take our b and then just add them together, and that'll give us what 2a plus b is. So 12 plus minus 2, well 12 plus minus 2 will be going down 2, so that'll be 10. And then we've got minus 8 plus 1, well, I'll be going back up 1, which should be minus 7. So the answer is 10 minus 7, and if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 44. So question number 44 says, Nigel measures the time t seconds to complete a race is 14.8 seconds correct to the nearest tenth of a second. This has been rounded to 1 decimal place. And we've been asked to write down the error interval for t. So the time t would be bigger than or equal to 14.75, because anything below that would round down, but this is the lowest possible value that would round up to be 14.8 to 1 decimal place. And the time will go up to, but not include, 14.85. And that's it, that's the error interval for t. So question number 45 is a use of a calculator question, so we just need to type this into our calculator. So I'm just going to type that in. So I've typed this in, and we've been asked to write down our full calculator display. So I've got 7.244774507. And part B says to give our answer to 3 significant figures. So in this case, that'll be 7.24. So 7.24. So that's 3 significant figures. Okay, question number 46. Question number 46 is on the area of a circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. And this time we've been told the area is 64. So we've got 64 is equal to pi r squared. And we want to find r. So let's divide both sides by pi. So divide by pi and divide by pi. So the left-hand side, if we do 64 divided by pi, 64 divided by pi is equal to 20.37183272, and that's equal to, on the right hand side, we divided by pi to get rid of the pi, so we're just left with r squared. So that's the radius squared. Now we don't want the radius squared, we want the radius, so we need to square root. So we're going to do the square root of 20.3718 and so on, and when we do the square root of answer, we get that's equal to 4.5135, and I've written that to 4 decimal places, so to 4 decimal places. And that's it, and if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 47. So question number 47, we've been asked to write down the exact value of the cos of 60 degrees. Well, the cos of 60 degrees is a half, so the answer is a half. And if you got that, well done. Okay, our next question, question number 48. Hi, so let's have a look at question number 48. So question number 48 is on Pythagoras' theorem, because we've got this rectangle and it's been cut diagonally. So we've got a right angle triangle here and a right angle triangle there. And we've been asked to calculate the perimeter of rectangle ABCD. So we know the width of the rectangle. It'd be fantastic if we could find the length of the rectangle. And we can by using Pythagoras' theorem. So let's look at this triangle ABD. We've got one of the shorter sides and we've got the hypotenuse, the longer side. So let's label the sides A, B, and C. And then remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So a squared, that's going to be 5 squared, plus b squared, let's just call that x for the moment, so plus x squared, equals c squared, so that's going to be 13 squared. 5 squared is 25, so we get 25 plus x squared equals, and 13 squared is 169. Now we want to get the x on its own, so let's take away 25 and take away 25. So on the left hand side we'll be left with x squared, and on the right hand side we'll be left with 144. And then if we just square root, we're going to find x, and x equals the square root of 144, and the square root of 144 is equal to 12, so x equals 12 centimeters. So we know that x now, the length of AB, is 12 centimeters. We can find the perimeter of this rectangle because we've got the width is 5 and the length is 12. So we would just find the perimeter, we'll do 12 plus 5 plus 12 plus 5. So let's do that. So 12 plus 5 is equal to 17, plus 12 is 29, plus 5 is 34. So the perimeter of this rectangle is 34 centimeters. And if you got that, well done. Okay, next question. Okay, question number 49. And again, I wrote this down yesterday when we went through the hints. To find the area of a trapezium, this is trapezium. To find the area of a trapezium, we do a half a plus b, the two parallel sides added together, and then multiply by the height, the distance between them. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a half, and then in brackets, the two parallel sides added together. So that's going to be 9 plus 15, close brackets, and then multiply by the height, the distance between them, which is 4. 9 plus 15 is equal to 24, so we've got a half of 24 multiplied by 4, and then we've got a half of 24, which is 12 times 4, and 12 multiplied by 4 is equal to 48. So there, if this trapezium is 48 centimeters squared, and that's it. Okay, next question, question number 50. Okay, question number 50, it says candles normally cost £6 each, and there's two websites, Corbettmaths Candles and Candles R Us, and they've got special offers. Corbettmaths Candles, if you buy 3, you get 1 free, and Candles R Us, you get 20% off the total price. Now, Laura wants to buy 30 candles, so let's start with Candles R Us. She wants to buy 30 candles. They cost £6 each, so if we do 30 multiplied by 6, that's equal to £180. Now, if there's no special offer in Candles R Us, the price would be £180, but it's 20% off, so let's find 20%. I'm going to find 10% to begin with, because this is a non-calculator question. So 10% is equal to 18, just dividing by 10. So 20% will be double that, and double 18 is 36. So 20% is £36. Now we just need to take that away, so we're going to do 180 take away 36, and 180 take away 36 is equal to £144. So the price in Candles R Us would be £144. Now in terms of Corbettmaths Candles, it's buy 3 get 1 free. So that means she could buy 3 get 1 free. She could buy 6 get 2 free. And let's just try the total here. That'd be 4 candles. That'd be 8 candles. So total 3, and how many she buys. She could buy 9, and then that'd be 3 free. Just adding 3 and adding 1, and that'd be 12 altogether. And we can carry on. She could buy 12 and get 4 free. That'd be 16. She could buy 15 and get 5 free. That's 20. She could buy 18 and get 6 free. That's 24. She could buy 21 and get 7 free, and that's 28. Now she wants to buy 30. If she bought another 3, that'd be 24, and then it'd be 8 free. That's 32. So that's too many. She only wants to buy 30. So we're not going to go for that option. We're going to go for this option here. So she's going to buy 21 candles and get 7 free, and that'll be 28, but then she needs to buy another 2 candles. So altogether that means that Laura needs to buy 23 candles. So if she buys 23 candles, if she buys 21 and then she gets 7 free, that's 28, and then buys another 2. So she's going to buy 23 candles and get 7 free. And so if we do 23 multiplied by 6, that'll be how much she has to pay. So let's do that. 23 multiplied by 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. Put an 8 down, carry a 1. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 3, so that's £138. So if she uses Corbettmaths Candles, it'll cost her £138 because she'd buy 23 and get 7 free. And then that means then that the total price would be £138. So the question says, which website should she use? Well, the answer is Corbettmaths Candles. Corbettmaths Candles. And that's it. If you got that, well done. Okay, question number 51. Okay, let's look at our next question. So next question, we've been asked to simplify m to the power 5 multiplied by m cubed. So when we're multiplying things with the same base, we just add the power, so that'd be m to the power of 8. Okay, next question, we're dividing. So we've got m to the power of 8 divided by m squared. When we're dividing things with the same base, we can take away the powers. 8 take away 2 is equal to 6. That'll be m to the power of 6. And finally, we've got a power of a power. And when we've got a power of a power, we multiply the two powers together. And 3 times 2 is 6, so the answer would be m to the power of 6. So the answers would be m to the power of 8, m to the power of 6, and m to the power of 6. And if you got those, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so question number 52. So question number 52, I've actually given a bit of a hint in this yesterday in terms of drawing a pie chart. We've been asked to draw a pie chart. So we need to find the angle for each one of our sectors. And to do that, we add up the frequencies to get the grand total. So let's do that to begin with. So let's add up the frequencies. So adding these up would give us 36. So it's 36 dogs altogether. And if we divide 360 by 36, we get that's equal to 10 degrees. So each dog gets 10 degrees, or is represented by 10 degrees in the pie chart. So if we multiply all the frequencies by 10, we'll find the angle. So that'll be 110 degrees, that'll be 70 degrees, that'll be 40 degrees, and 140 degrees. And now we just need to draw these sectors in the pie chart. Okay, so our first sector is for Spaniel, and it's 110 degrees. So we're going to put a protractor, so the 0 is on the line at the top, going straight up on the pie chart. We want 110 degrees. So we're going to start at 0, and we're going to go around to 90, 100, 110 would be there. So we put a little dot there. We now remove our pie chart, and we draw a nice straight line going from the center of the pie chart through that point to the circumference of the pie chart, so like so. So then that would be the sector for Spaniel. And it's important we label it, so that's Spaniel. Okay, next we get a protractor. We put the center of the protractor on the center of the pie chart, and we put the 0 on the line we've just drawn. You always put the 0 on the line you've just drawn, and we go around to 70 degrees, which would be here, put a dot. And then we remove our protractor and put a nice straight line through it. So that sector's for poodle. Okay, our next sector is 40 degrees for greyhound, so let's do that one. Okay, so we go to 0 and we go around to 40 degrees, which would be there. So remember, we're always putting 0 along the line we've just drawn, so 40 degrees will be there. And we label that one greyhound. And then our last sector is for Jack Russell. And if you measured that, you would get 140 degrees. And that's Jack Russell, Jack Russell. And that's it. And if you wanted to, you could put the angles in if you wanted to. 110 degrees, 70 degrees, 40 degrees, and 140 degrees. You can do that if you wanted to. You don't need to. I just do it sometimes just to remind myself of what each of the angles were. And you've got each of your sectors and you've labelled them. So that's it. That's your pie chart. Well done. Okay, our next question, question number 53. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 53. So question number 53, I've actually drawn the lines for us, but let's just talk about it. We've got the person C is on a bearing of 62 degrees, 062 degrees from person A. So there's person A. So what I've done is I've got my protractor and I've measured 62 degrees, and that would be a bearing of 062 degrees. So that's 62 degrees there, and then I've put a little dot and I've drawn a line through it. Then we're told the person C is on a bearing of 275 degrees from person B. So what I've done there is I've put my protractor facing this way with the 0 north line. I've gone around clockwise to 180 degrees and put a dot. Then I've turned the protractor around, and then I've measured another 95 degrees, because 180 plus 95 is 275, and then that would be there a 275 degree angle. And I've put a little dot and then I've drawn a line for it. And where those two lines cross will be where the person C is. Now, in terms of this bearing here of 275 degrees, you could have put the protractor the way around and then done 360 subtract 275, and that's equal to 85. So then you could have measured an 85 degree angle anti-clockwise, and that means that this angle would be 275 degrees, or you could get a 360 degree protractor, and that would probably be my choice. And that's it. So that's where person C is. Okay, our next question. So our next question is on parallel lines, and we covered this just a couple of days ago. So remember, the equation of a line is y equals mx plus c, so mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. Now, I want to find the equation of the line A. Now, we know the y-intercept is going to be 8, so it's going to be plus 8. Let's find its gradient, m. Well, line B has got equation y equals 3x plus 1, so the gradient of this line is 3. And if lines are parallel, they've got the same gradient. So that means that this line, A, would be y equals 3x plus 8, because its gradient must be 3, and its y-intercept is 8, and that's it. Okay, our next question, question number 55. So question number 55, we've been given a rectangle, and we've been asked to explain why 4x plus 1 equals 2x plus 9. Well, the opposite sides of a rectangle have got the same length, so let's explain that. And that's it. Okay, part B. Part B says find x. So we want to find x. Well, if we want to find x, well, they've given us the equation in part A, so we can just solve it. 4x plus 1 equals 2x plus 9. And then we just want to find the lowest number of x's, which would be 2x, and we're going to take that away from both sides. So take away 2x and take away 2x. So on the left-hand side, if we take away 2x, we'll be left with 2x plus 1. On the right-hand side, we'll be left with 9. And then if we take away 1 and take away 1, we get the 2x equals 8. And then if we divide by 2, we get x equals 4. So x equals 4 centimeters. Okay, our next part, part C, says find the area of the rectangle. Well, if x is equal to 4, that means the width is 4. And if x is equal to 4, we could do 2 times 4 is 8 plus 9 is 17. So the length of the rectangle is 17. We can actually check that. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 1 is 17. So we've got the length and the width of the rectangle. We now just need to multiply them together to get the area. And 4 times 17 is 64. So the area of the rectangle is 64 centimeters squared. So question number 56 is on simultaneous equations. So let's have a look here. We've got 5y and minus 3y. Well, let's get 15y minus 15y. So let's multiply the top equation by 3, and let's multiply the second equation by 5. So if we multiply the top equation by 3, we'd get 9x plus 15y equals 3. And if we multiply the second equation by 5, we're going to get 10x minus 15y equals 35. So we've got two equations, one with 15y and one with minus 15y. Well, minus 15y plus 15y is 0, so let's add the two equations together. So let's add 9x plus 10x is 19x. Minus 15y plus 15y is 0, so they cancel out. And then that's equal to 35 plus 3 is equal to 38. So we've got the 19x equals 38, and then let's just divide by 19 and divide by 19, and we get that x equals 2. So x equals 2. Now let's find y. So let's substitute that into one of our equations at the top. I'm going to choose the top one. 3 times 2 is equal to 6, plus 5y is equal to 1. Just substituting this 2 into the top equation. Now let's solve this. So let's take away 6 and take away 6, and then we're left with 5y on the left-hand side, and 1 take away 6 is minus 5. And if we divide by 5 and divide by 5, we're going to get the y equals minus 1. So x equals 2 and y equals minus 1. And that's our solution. And we can actually check that. We can check in the bottom equation. 2 times x, 2 times 2 is 4, and then we've got take away, and 3 times y, 3 times minus 1 would be minus 3, and 4 minus minus 3 is equal to 7, and that's what it should equal, so that's correct, and that's it, we've got it right. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 57. Okay, so question number 57, we've been asked to complete this table for y equals x squared plus x. So we need to square all the values for x and then add x, and some of them we've done for, so that's quite nice actually. So let's look at 3. So if we had 3 squared plus 3, 3 squared is 9, plus 3 would be equal to 12. So that means this is equal to 12. We've then got 2. 2 squared is 4, plus 2 is 6. 1 squared is 1, plus 1 is 1. 0 squared plus 0, 0 squared plus 0 is equal to 0, so that's 0. And now if we have a look here, we've got 0 and 0. We've got 6 and 6, so this one here should be 2. And if, because you're looking at the pattern. And actually just check it. Minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Plus minus 2, well, that me going down 2, which should be 2. So that's it, perfect. Now let's plot our points. And that's it, I've just drawn the best curve that I can do on a computer there. So that's it, we've drawn the graph of y equals x squared plus x. So y equals x squared plus x. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 58. So we've been asked to state the condition why these two triangles are congruent. And if we have a look here, we've got 6.5 centimeters and 6.5 centimeters, 14 centimeters and 14 centimeters, and 10 centimeters and 10 centimeters. So they've got the same sides, so that's side, side, side. So that's the condition. Okay, question number 59. Question 59 is a rotations question. So we've been asked to rotate this shape, which is trapezium, 180 degrees about the point minus 1, 2, so this point here. So what you do is you get your tracing paper, and I'll probably put a landscape on top of this. I'll put a cross on top of the center of rotation, and I'll draw over the trapezium. Keeping my pencil here, I would then rotate the tracing paper 180 degrees, and then I would just draw on top of where the trapezium would go to. And whenever you do that, it should land here, and that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 60. Okay, so let's have a look at our next question. So the next question says a large coffee costs £3.20 and a medium coffee costs 3/4 of that price. So let's work out 3/4 of the price of the large coffee to work out the cost of the medium coffee. So, and it's a calculator question, so that's nice. We can take our £3.20 and divide it by 4, divide by the bottom. So that's equal to 80p or 0.80. And then we're going to multiply that by the top. So we'll take our 80p and multiply that by 3, the numerator, and that's equal to £2.40. So that means that each medium coffee costs £2.40. So that's £2.40. And a large coffee costs £3.20. And the question says to work out the cost of 5 large coffees, so that's going to be 5 multiplied by £3.20, and 2 medium coffees, so that's 2 multiplied by £2.40. So £3.20 times 5 is equal to £16, and £2.40 multiplied by 2 would be equal to £4.80. And then if we add them together, that's the total price of 5 large coffees and 2 medium coffees, and that would be equal to £20.80. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 61. So question number 61 is on fractions, decimals, and percentages. So let's have a look at this. We've got our 85%. Well, as a decimal, that's 0.85. That's quite straightforward. We can just divide this by 100, so 0.85. And our 0.12 for our decimal, we can multiply by 100, would be equal to 12%. So we've done those ones quite easily. Now, in terms of writing this as a fraction, I'm going to look at the 85%, and I'm going to write it over 100, because remember, percent means out of 100. So 85 out of 100 would be that fraction. But I want to cancel it down. Both of these numbers are divisible by 5, so let's divide both of them by 5. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. And now we just need to do 85 divided by 5. So 85 divided by 5. How many 5s go into 8? 1, remainder 3. How many 5s go into 35? That's 7. So that's going to be 17/20ths. So 17/20ths. So that was equal to 85 100ths, or 17/20ths. Okay, our next one, we've got our 12%, or 0.12. So we're going to write our 12%, so 12 out of 100. Let's half them both, so that's going to be 6 out of 50. And half again, that's going to be 3/25ths. And that's it. So 3/25ths. And finally, 23/25ths. Now we could change that to a percentage by making the denominator 100, by multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 4. Alternatively, we could do the numerator divided by the denominator, and that's the approach I'm going to use for this question. I'm going to take the 23, and I'm going to divide it by 25. And I'm going to put a decimal point and some zeros, because I've got a feeling it's going to be, well, so it's a decimal number, so we're going to definitely need those. So how many 25s go into 2? 0, remainder 2. How many 25s go into 23? 0, remainder 23. So we've now got 230. So let's think of our multiples of 25. 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150, 175, 200, 225, and then it'll be 250. So in terms of 230, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. That's 225, so our remainder is 5. And how many 25s go into 50? 2. So that's 0.92, 0.92. And as a percentage, that'd be 92%. And if you got that, well done. So question number 62 is on pictograms. So we've got this pictogram, and each sun represents 2 hours of sunshine. So Norwich would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 hours. Dublin would be 8 hours, because 2, 4, 6, 8. Belfast, 2, 4, 6, 7, because it's half a sun, so that means it's going to be 7. Aberdeen, 2, 4. And Cardiff, 2, 4, 6, 8. And the question says, how many more hours of sunshine was there in Norwich than Belfast? So Norwich has got 11, Belfast has got 7. 11 take away 7 is equal to 4. So there's 4 extra hours of sunshine in Norwich. Okay, next, in Glasgow, there's 9 hours of sunshine. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then half of 1 would be 9. And that's it. And you can put the little rays on if you want to. Okay, our next question. Magnus flips a fair coin once and rolls an ordinary dice. List all possible outcomes. Well, he could get a tail and a 1, a tail and a 2, a tail and a 3, a tail and a 4, a tail and a 5, and a tail and a 6. He could get a head and a 1, a head and a 2, a head and a 3, a head and a 4, a head and a 5, and a head and a 6. And that's it. That's all the possible outcomes. And the next part says, find the probability that Magnus gets a head and a 3. Well, it's going to be a head and a 3. That's that option out of all 12. So it's going to be 1, 12. And that's it. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 64. So question number 64 is a tree diagrams question, and we've been asked to complete the tree diagram. So the probability that Jennifer hits the bullseye on her first throw is a quarter, so the probability she misses will be 3 quarters. With her second dart, the probability that she hits it is 1/3, so the probability that she misses is 2/3. Hit is 1/3, and miss is 2/3. So we've completed the tree diagram, that's part A, and part B says find the probability that she hits the bullseye at least once. So it's going to be a hit and a hit, it's going to be a hit and a miss, or miss and a hit. Any of those 3 options would work. A miss and a miss wouldn't work, but if she hits it at least once, so she could miss and hit, she could hit and miss, or she could hit and hit. So to find the probability of a hit and a hit, we multiply these probabilities together. So we're going to do 1 quarter multiplied by 1/3, and that's equal to 1/12. We're going to do 1 quarter multiplied by 2/3, and that's equal to 2/12. We're going to do 3 quarters multiplied by 1/3, and that's equal to 3/12. So we found our 3 probabilities. Now we just need to add them together because either of these options would work. So it's going to be either this option or this option or this option. So we're going to do 1/12 plus 2/12 plus 3/12. So let's do that. And when we add together 1/12, 2/12, and 3/12, that's 6/12, and if we cancel it down, that's a half. So the probability that Jennifer hits the bullseye at least once is a half, and if you got that, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 65. Okay, so let's look at question number 65. So question number 65 is on missing angles, and we want to find the sides of this angle Y. Well, if we have a look here, we've got this isosceles triangle CEF, because we've got this line and this line are the same length as each other. So that means it's got a line of symmetry, and it means that these 2 angles are the same. So let's do 180 take away 40, and that's equal to 140. And then do 140 divided by 2 is equal to 70. So this angle is 70 degrees, and this angle is 70 degrees. Now these 2 angles make a straight line. So if we do 180 take away 70, that's equal to 110 degrees. So this angle here is 110 degrees. And then if we look at this triangle, we've got 2 angles, and we want to find the size of the third one. So let's add these 2 together and take it away from 180. So 110 plus 15 is equal to 125. And then 180 take away 125 is equal to 55 degrees. So that means that Y is 55 degrees. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. So question number 66 is on faces, edges, and vertices. So let's start off with a cube. A cube's got 6 faces. Think of a dice. In terms of the edges, it would have the 4 along the bottom, the 4 along the top, and the 4 going up vertically. So that'd be 12 edges. A square-based pyramid. So a square-based pyramid, I'm just going to sketch one. Okay, so that's a little sketch of a square-based pyramid. It's got the square in the bottom, and then it's got the 4 triangles leading up to the top. So it's got 5 faces. In terms of edges, it's got 4 along the bottom and 4 leading up. So that's 8. And in terms of vertices or corners, it's got the 4 corners on the bottom and then the 1 at the top. So that's going to be 5 vertices. In terms of a triangular prism, so this is a sketch of a triangular prism. It has, in terms of faces, a triangle on the front, a triangle on the back. Let's actually draw the inside of it as well. It's got a triangle on the front, a triangle on the back, so it's got those 2 triangles, and then it's got the 3 rectangles leading around it, so it's got 5 faces. It's got 9 edges, so it's got these 3 edges here, the 3 edges on the back, and the 3 leading backwards, so that's 9 altogether. And in terms of vertices, it's got 6 corners on the front and 6 on the back, so it's 6 vertices. And that's it. Okay, our next question, question number 67. So question number 67 is on the area of a triangle, and we're told the area of this triangle is 21 centimeters squared, and we've been asked to find the length of the base. So remember, to find the area of a triangle, we do the base times the height and then half it. So if we've got the area, we can double it. We can multiply by 2. That's equal to 42. And then if we do the base times the height, well, we just divide by the height. So we're going to do 42 divided by 6. and that's equal to 7. So that means that y is equal to 7 centimeters. And I've just worked backwards there. Normally to find the area of a triangle, we do the base times the height and divide by 2. So if we double it, we get 42. And then if we divide by the height, we get the length of the base. And we can just check it. If this is 7, 7 times 6 is equal to 42. And then half of it is 21. So the answer is 7 centimeters. Okay, our next question. Okay, question number 68. Question number 68 says, write down the order of rotational symmetry of a hexagon. Well, if you spin a hexagon around in a full circle, 360 degrees, it lands on itself 6 times. So the order of rotational symmetry is 6. And then we've been asked to draw in all the lines of symmetry, so let's do that. And that's it, I've drawn all 6 lines of symmetry. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 69. So question number 69 is on views, and we've been asked to draw the front elevation of the shape. So let's draw it. Let's draw the front elevation. So we would have, well, a 3 along the bottom and 3 going up. So 3 along the bottom and then 3 leading upwards. And then we'd have 2 along the top and then down, across and down. And that's the front elevation. And that's, if you look at it from the front, that's what you would see. Okay, our next question, question number 70. So question number 70 is on regular payments. A holiday costs £1,670 and Lorenzo pays a deposit of £250 and then he pays the rest of it in 8 equal monthly instalments. So if we take away the deposit, we can then see how much he pays in the monthly instalments and then we can divide by 8. So let's do a 1,670, take away 250, and it's a calculator question, that's equal to 1,420. And then we just need to divide by 8, and if we divide that by 8, it'll tell us how much each one of the monthly payments is. So if we do 1,420 divided by 8, that's equal to £177.50p, and that's equal to £177.50p. And let's just check that. If we times that by 8 and add on the deposit, we get that's equal to 1,670. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 71. So question number 71, we've got this conversion graph and we've been asked to convert 5 kilograms into pounds. So let's go 5 up and across and see what we get. And that's equal to £11. So that answer is £11. Okay, part B. Part B says convert 8 pounds to kilograms, so 8 pounds to kilograms. So we're going to go 8 pounds across and down. So let's do that. And as you can see, it's just slightly above 3.5. So I'm going to say 3.6 there, so 3.6 kilograms. Okay, and then we're told a piano weighs 150 kilograms and we've been asked to change 150 kilograms into pounds. So let's go back up. Well, we don't have 150 kilograms here, but we've got 10 kilograms. Let's go 10 up and across and see what we get. So if we go up from 10 and across, that's equal to 22 pounds. So 10 kilograms is equal to 22 pounds. So that's 10 kilograms. Well, if we had 100 kilograms, that would be 10 times larger. That would be 220 pounds. Now we want 150. Let's half this, 50 kilograms. So half of this would be 50 kilograms, which is 110 pounds. And then 150 kilograms, if we add these two together, would be 330 pounds. And that's it. Now, another approach is you could have taken the 22 pounds for 10 kilograms and times that by 15. And if you do 22 times 15, you get 330 as well. Okay, let's look at our next question. Okay, so let's have a look at question number 72. So question number 72, we've got this rectangle on this grid and we've been to enlarge it with scale factor 2 using center -1, 0. So if we enlarge this rectangle by scale factor 2, it means all the points in the rectangle are going to come twice as far away from the center for enlargement. So this point here is 1 to the left and 1 down. So now it's going to be 2 to the left and 2 down. So it's going to move to there. This point, instead of being 1 to the left and 2 up, is now going to be 2 to the left and 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. This point, instead of being 1, 2, 3 to the right and 2 up, is now going to be 6 to the right and 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 4 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, this point here, instead of being 1, 2, 3 to the right and 1 down, it's going to be 6 to the right and 2 down. So 6 to the right and 2 down will be there. And then we just join up those points. And that's it. And let's just check. The original rectangle had a length of 4 and a width of 3. Our rectangle has now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A length of 8 and a width of 6. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question. Question number 73. So question number 73 is on the combined mean. And we've got a tennis club's got 165 members. They're adult and child members. And the mean age of the children is 14 years. And the mean age of the adults is 40.7 years. And we've been asked to calculate the mean for all 165 members. So in terms of the children, we would have added up their ages and divided by 55 and got 14. So if we take the 14 and multiply that by 55, we can find the total age of all the children. So 55 multiplied by 14 is equal to 770. So that's how many years old all the children are if we add up all their ages. In terms of the adults, we would take our mean age, which is 40.7, and we would multiply that by 110. And 40.7 times 110 is equal to 4,477. And then if we just add them together, that'll tell us the total age. So the total age would be 5,247. And now we just need to divide it by 165. So 5,247 divided by 165 is equal to 31.8. So the mean age is 31.8 years. And that's it. And if you got that, well done. Okay, let's have a look at question number 74. So question number 74, we've got this Venn diagram, and we've been asked to write down the probability that a number is chosen at random, and we've been asked to write down the probability that it's in A intersects B. So what's the probability if A intersects B? So altogether, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers in our Venn diagram. And if we have a look here, 2 of them in the middle, so it's going to be 2 out of 7. So because obviously in the middle is A intersect B, that region there, in the middle it's A and B in here. So it's 2 sevenths. Okay, our next one, part B, says find the probability of A union B. So that means A or B, or both. So it means anything that's in A or B, so anything inside these regions here. So that will be 6 out of 7, so 6 sevenths. And if you got those, well done. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 75. Okay, let's have a look at question number 75. So question number 75, we've got the heights of 7 children, and we've been asked to change 132 centimetres into metres. So there's 100 centimetres in a metre, so we just need to divide this by 100, so that'll be 1.32. Okay, next we've been asked to change 98 centimetres into metres. So again, we divide by 100, so that'll be 0.98 metres. And then we've been asked to arrange the heights in order, starting with the shortest. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to change them all into metres. So we've got 1.32 metres, we've got 1.2, 0.98 metres, we've got 1.16 metres, and then everything's in metres. Okay, so the smallest one, that will be this one, which is 0.98 metres, or I'm going to put it in 98 centimetres, so 98 centimetres. So that's the smallest. And then the next shortest will be this one, 0.99 metres. So that's our next shortest, 0.99 metres. Okay, next we've then got 1.16, so that's our next shortest, so that's 116 centimetres. Next then we've got our 1.2 metres, so 1.2 metres. Next we've got our 1.32 metres, or 132 centimetres. And then next we've got our 1.33 metres, and then the tallest person is 1.4 metres, 1.4 metres. And that's it, we've put the heights in order, starting with the smallest, or the shortest. Okay, and part D says find the median. Okay, so to remember to find the median, we want the middle value once we've arranged them in order. So we've arranged the heights in order, so that's fantastic. So we cross off the smallest and cross off the biggest. I'm going to just tick underneath them just to make sure they don't cross them off, because I need the answer here for part C. Okay, cross off the next smallest, next biggest, next smallest, and next biggest, and then our median height is 1.2 metres. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 76. Okay, let's have a look at our next question, question number 76. So this is a train timetable, and we've got Antrim, Randalstown, Ballymena, and Ballycastle. And then we're told that Freddie arrives in Randalstown at 1:03. So he arrives in Randalstown at 1:03, so he can't be getting that train, and he catches the next train to Ballycastle. So that's going to be that train there. And he arrives in Ballycastle at 2:09. And the question says, how long will that journey take? He leaves at 1:15. So that'll be 45 minutes to get to 2 o'clock, and then another 9 minutes. So if we do 45 plus 9, that's equal to 54 minutes. So the train would take 54 minutes. Okay, next, part B. Part B, then we're told this sort of situation about Jennifer, and we've been asked to plan her journey to her friend's house. So let's have a look at this information. So Jennifer lives in Antrim, so she lives in Antrim, and her friend lives in Ballymena. So we're looking at Antrim and Ballymena, and then we're told that she lives a 5-minute walk from the Antrim train station. Her friend lives a 30-minute walk from Ballymena train station, and she wants to arrive at her friend's house before 3 o'clock. And then the question says, plan her journey. So she wants to arrive at her friend's house before 3 o'clock. Now, it can't be this train, because that train arrives in Ballymena at 4:31. Now, her friend lives a 30-minute walk from Ballymena train station. So if she got this train, she would actually arrive at her friend's house, if we had 30 minutes onto this, at 1 minute past 3. Now, I don't know how strict this before 3 o'clock is, but it obviously means that we can't get this one. You know, we don't want to take the risk. Okay, so this train here. So this train here, if she got this train, she would arrive in Ballymena at 1:31. A 30-minute walk from the train station would be 1 minute past 2, so she would arrive in her friend's house before 3 o'clock. So let's plan that journey. And the train leaves at 1 o'clock, and she lives a 5-minute walk from the train station. So let's write that down. Okay, so in terms of Jennifer's journey, she should leave her house before 12:55, just to make sure she's got the 5 minutes to walk to Antrim train station, and get the 1 o'clock train from Antrim train station. She should arrive in Ballymena train station at 1:31, so she should arrive then. Obviously, we're not guaranteed the train's going to arrive on time. And then after walking, she should arrive at her friend's house at 1 minute past 2. And that's it. Okay, let's look at our next question, question number 77. So question number 77, we've got some temperatures and we've got them, they're in degrees Celsius. So Monday it's -4 degrees Celsius and so on. And the question said, what fraction of the days had a temperature below 0 degrees? So if we look at these 5 days, this is below 0, this is below 0, and this is below 0. So that's 3 out of 5, so 3/5. Okay, and then part B, we're asked to find the range of the temperatures. That's the difference between the biggest and the smallest. So in terms of the highest temperature, that's 1 degree Celsius. And the lowest temperature is -6. So 1 subtract -6, that'll be the difference between them. So you could do 1 minus -6, which is equal to 7 degrees. So that's 7 degrees Celsius. Or another way to consider it is, we want to work out the difference between them. So if we add 6, we get to 0, and add another 1, we get to 1. So the difference is 7 degrees Celsius. Okay, question number 8. Question number 8 is on changing the subject. So part A, we want to make u the subject of v equals u plus 10t. So if we want to make u the subject, we want to get rid of this 10t. So let's take away 10t from the left-hand side and take away 10t from the right-hand side. So on the left-hand side, we'd have v subtract 10t. And on the right-hand side, we had u plus 10t. We're taking away the 10t, so we'll be left with u. So u equals v subtract 10t. And then part B says we would make t the subject of this formula. So we want to make t the subject of this formula. So let's take away the u from both sides. So let's take away u and take away u. So on the left-hand side, we've got v subtract u. And on the right-hand side, we'd just be left with 10t. And then we don't want this 10 here, so let's divide both sides by 10. So divide by 10 and divide by 10. So on the left-hand side, we'd have v subtract u over 10. On the right-hand side, we'd just be left with t. So t equals v subtract u over 10. And that's it. And if you got that, well done.
And that's it. So in this video, we went through the video solutions to the practice paper. I really hope you found the practice paper useful, and also just to let you know what topics you're really confident with, but what topics then you need to do a bit more work on with 2 weeks to go and do something about it. But keep up the hard work. You're doing really well, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye.